The night before my wedding to the crown prince, father returned home with his illegitimate daughter from outside. Your sister is a beauty beyond compare, far lovelier than you could ever hope to be, he declared with satisfaction. Having her accompany you into the prince's residence will surely help secure your position. I found his words rather amusing. After all, I was the one who had killed her mother. How could she possibly help me maintain the prince's favor? True to my expectations, on our wedding day, she stood beside me in a stunning white gown that captured every eye in attendance. Every eye, that is, except for my husband's His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince. My father's beloved mistress had been Li Chulian, my mother's own younger half-sister. Day after day she would visit our residence, playing the part of the devoted sister-in-law while secretly carrying on her affair with father, behind closed doors. When mother was 8 months along with her second child, the court physician announced that this baby would surely be a son. It was during mother's labor that Li Chulian chose to make her tearful confession. Not only had she become father's mistress, she revealed, but she had already borne him a daughter 8 years prior. 8 years ago, that would have been the second year of my parents' marriage, when their love had seemed so genuine and true. What had appeared to be marital bliss was revealed as deception. What had seemed like sisterly affection became a cruel joke. In her rage and heartbreak, mother drew her final breath, leaving behind only myself and my newborn brother, who cried pitifully for the mother he would never know. I was 8 years old that year, and in a single night, I was forced to grow up entirely. I followed the nursemaid, learning to prepare mother's funeral arrangements, never leaving my baby brother's side as I tended to him and tried to comfort his cries. Meanwhile, father spent the mid-autumn festival at his separate residence, celebrating happily with Li Chulian and her daughter. On the 7th day after mother's passing, I dragged my weak and ailing body alone to the separate courtyard father had established for Li Chulian. As always, she spoke to me with false maternal warmth. "Dear Jade," she said, using my childhood name, "in a few days, your father will bring me home as the new mistress of the house. From then on, you must call me mother." Her feigned affection couldn't disguise the triumph gleaming in her eyes. She stroked my face and called over her own children, her daughter Pearl and her son Andrew. "Come here quickly and meet your elder sister," she commanded them. Pearl and Andrew approached with varying expressions, both calling me sister as instructed. Li Chulian laughed playfully as she spoke to me. "This is little Jade's first time meeting her new siblings, so she surely hasn't brought any meeting gifts. When we move into the main house, you must remember to make up for this oversight. Though you no longer have a mother to teach you, you must still learn to be considerate." I smiled and fingered the cold blade hidden in my sleeve. "Auntie," I said sweetly, "come closer. I have a white jade hairpin I'd like to give you." She bent down without suspicion, her face full of self-satisfied pleasure. The next moment, her smile vanished entirely. Her eyes grew rigid as she clutched at the wound in her throat, blood flowing freely between her fingers. She looked at me with complete disbelief, her mouth opening and closing silently, unable to form any words. She collapsed to the ground, convulsing in the dust, her bloodshot eyes staring at me with frozen terror. Pearl and Andrew screamed in horror. I calmly wiped the blood from my blade and smiled. "Please accept this meeting gift from your elder sister with gratitude." Pearl wept as though her heart would break, but she dared not attack me while I held the weapon. Father won't let you get away with this. He'll make you pay for my mother's life." But she was wrong. If word spread that I had killed my stepmother, father's political career would be finished as well, even for his own sake. He would find a way to cover up this mess. Pearl didn't understand what a practical, self-serving man her father truly was. But I knew him all too well. Father suppressed news of what had happened at the separate residence, and hastily arranged Li Chulian's funeral. He came at me with a sword, shouting, "You are nothing but a vicious child. You deserve to die." He hated me for killing his beloved, just as I hated him for destroying my dear mother. That wonderful woman who had carried me for 10 months, and nearly died, bringing me into this world, who had loved and cherished and protected me for 8 precious years. Father and I had become enemies, bound by blood but divided by hatred. In the depths of winter, I threw myself into the frozen lake, gambling with death itself to win a chance at survival. My maternal uncle's wife now had reason to come with her people, taking both myself and my young brother away from Father's house. Before leaving, I delivered my final words to Father. If you dare to bring Pearl and Andrew back into this house as your legitimate children, I will go to the magistrate and file a formal complaint. I'll tell the world how you carried on with your wife's own sister and caused her death through your betrayal. I'll confess everything about killing my stepmother as well. My death would be a small matter, but your entire household's reputation would be ruined. The men's careers, the women's marriage prospects, all would be destroyed. Father, as long as I draw breath, you will never bring those two into the house that bears our family name. Father's rage overwhelmed him. He struck my face hard and grabbed my throat with crushing force. How could I have fathered such an unfilial, rebellious creature? How dare you? I looked at him with a smile, making no attempt to struggle. Gradually, cold sweat appeared on his forehead, and he released his grip of his own accord. He muttered under his breath, fear evident in the depths of his eyes. You are insane, you are completely insane. I smiled serenely. I am not insane, but you are a coward. Father, I am willing to risk my life openly for Mother's sake. Yet you don't dare seek honest revenge for the woman you claim to love above all others. You are not my equal in anything. With my maternal aunt present, all of Mother's dowry and possessions were carefully catalogued and taken with us. Grandmother was displeased but could say nothing to prevent it. She was reluctant to let my brother leave as well. That very night, my little brother broke out in red welts all over his body and developed a dangerous fever. My aunt made quite a scene, even causing grandmother to faint from anger. Father rubbed his forehead and waved us away dismissively. Take them all. I have more than one son anyway. Get out, all of you, get out of my sight. My aunt provided us with the courtyard where Mother had lived during her maiden days. I settled there with my brother and our faithful nursemaid. In return for my aunt's kindness, I took my cousin's place and entered the palace as a companion and study partner for Princess Ning Zhao. Princess Ning Zhao was known for her difficult, domineering nature. The companions who had preceded me all returned in tears, having been treated terribly. When our family's turn came, my aunt couldn't bear to see her own daughter suffer, and I was unwilling to remain in Father's house. We found our arrangement mutually beneficial. On my first day in the palace, I was ordered to kneel in punishment. My crime. My hairstyle was deemed unsatisfactory. I smiled and thanked Her Highness for the correction. On the second day, I was suspended from a tree. Again, I smiled and thanked her graciously. This continued until I lost consciousness and was rescued by the Crown Prince himself. When I awakened, the Crown Prince was scolding Ning Zhao severely. Fighting through my weakness and pain, I knelt and kowtowed before him. It was I who broke the cup and offended Her Highness, which is why she punished me. The prince's reprimand stopped abruptly, and Ning Zhao bit her lip as she looked at me. The prince took a deep breath and tapped Ning Zhao's head gently. She is not your servant or slave. She is your companion, the daughter of a court official. Her mother was the daughter of the Marquis of Pingyuan, and her father holds the position of left attendant. How can you treat her so unreasonably? Ning Zhao snorted dismissively. She is merely the daughter of a fourth-rank official. What is the big concern? If I beat her to death? What of it? Ning Zhao. The prince's voice carried a note of pain as he lowered his tone. Her mother has just passed away. You should treat her kindly. Like you, she has lost her mother, so you should understand the sorrow in her heart. Only then did Ning Zhao fall silent, and she looked at me with somewhat kinder eyes. The prince helped me to my feet and smiled gently. Rest now, you are weak. And I've had the court physician prepare medicine for you. Ah, Zhao is merely willful by nature, but she means no real harm. Please don't hold it against her. Her Highness the Princess treats me very well, I replied. From that day forward, perhaps because Ning Zhao saw that we shared the common bond of motherless children, she treated me much more kindly. She no longer punished me arbitrarily, and I accompanied her daily to the study hall. His Majesty doted on Ning Zhao, granting her the special privilege of studying alongside the princes. I attended at her side, learning the arts of governance, the duties of rulership, and the wisdom of great thinkers. Ning Zhao found these lessons tedious, so I wrote all her assignments and essays for her. She loved attention and craved recognition. My writings earned praise from the Grand Tutor under her name. When it came to my own work, I deliberately kept my talents hidden, appearing merely average. I didn't simply agree with everything she said or cater to her every whim. When important matters arose, I would risk my life to stop her from making poor decisions, though she would become angry and even strike me at the time. Afterward, when she faced the consequences and lost face, she would remember my good intentions. As time passed, she became increasingly dependent on me. During the Empress Dowager's birthday celebration, Ning Zhao came into conflict with the seventh princess, the current empress's daughter, and was pushed into the pond in the imperial garden. The seventh princess stood imperiously by the water's edge. No one is permitted to rescue her. You still think your mother is the empress. Your mother is dead, and now my mother is empress. How dare you continue being so arrogant? I'll beat to death anyone who tries to save her. Incredibly, the eunuchs and palace maids present didn't dare move, only sneaking away to find the crown prince and his majesty. By the time they returned with help, Ning Zhao might well have been nothing but a corpse. Watching Ning Zhao struggle desperately in the water, I knew my opportunity had come. I jumped in to save her, though the rescue proved far from smooth. Unable to swim herself when I tried to help her, she pressed down on me desperately, trying to climb upward, causing me to swallow several mouthfuls of water, and nearly drowning me as well. When His Majesty and the Crown Prince arrived, they found me dragging Ning Zhao to safety in a most bedraggled state. The prince's face had gone deathly pale. I had never seen such cold, dangerous fury in his usually gentle eyes. The seventh princess retreated 2 steps in fear, then remembered her mother's position as empress and straightened her spine defiantly. The prince caught Ning Zhao and reached out to help me, but I deliberately collapsed back into the water, striking my arm against the sharp rocks and breaking it. Without hesitation, he jumped in after me and pulled me to safety. When His Majesty questioned the palace servants, a small eunuch tremblingly revealed the truth. We didn't refuse to save her, the seventh princess forbade it. We didn't dare disobey. The prince's face was ice cold as he walked directly to the seventh princess and delivered a resounding slap. His voice was frigid as he spoke. Father, Mother Empress has passed away. If not for Miss Wei's courage in defying this threat to save Ning Zhao would now be reunited with Mother in death. His Majesty's eyes filled with guilt, and he sentenced the seventh princess to a year of confinement. After the court physician set my broken bone, the crown prince dismissed the palace maids attending me and personally brought medicine to feed me. He gently blew on the hot medicine to cool it. Miss Wei, thank you for today's sacrifice. You saved Ah Zhao, and father will reward your family for this, I replied. If there truly is to be a reward, might it be given to my younger brother instead? At his surprised look, I continued with sadness in my voice. I won't hide the truth from your highness. My father has another family outside our house, with his mistress and her children. After mother died, my brother and I have been living under my aunt's care at the Marquis of Pingyuan's residence. Though my brother is young and my aunt looks after him, I worry about him constantly. Tears fell like pearls as I spoke. My brother and I are each other's only family in this world. I cannot rest easy about his welfare. If I might truly request a reward, I hope His Majesty might bestow something upon my brother, so that my uncle and aunt will value him more highly. The Crown Prince's expression grew complex. He set down the medicine and handed me his handkerchief, his own eyes reddening with emotion. He was only 14 himself, and when the late Empress died, he had been just 8 years old. Since then, he had navigated the treacherous waters of the palace with the innocent Ning Zhao depending on him. He had to guard against the schemes and machinations of His Majesty's favored concubines, while caring for Ning Zhao and shouldering the heavy responsibilities of his position as heir. He dared not relax his vigilance for even a moment, knowing that any mistake could cost him his position as crown prince. Miss Wei, Miss Ling Yi Mei, I call you by your given name? I trembled slightly at the corners of my eyes. My face flushed as I looked at him with apparent confusion. He picked up the medicine again and offered it to me, smiling gently. Ling Yi, don't cry anymore. From now on, you take care of Ah Zhao for me, and I'll take care of your brother outside the palace. How does that sound? My eyes brightened with apparent joy and surprise. Really? His smile was warm and genuine. Of course. I smiled back at him with seeming happiness. How wonderful he had already committed my name to memory. Wei Ling Yi, the crown prince, visited me every day. After Ning Zhao recovered, she came to see me as well, bringing chicken soup and acting thoroughly awkward about it. Look at how thin you are. People who don't know better might think I've been mistreating you. Even as she scolded, she served the soup. I noticed the burns and marks on her fingers and hands from cooking. She had always been afraid of pain. She asked me irritably, I treated you so badly. So why did you still save me? Weren't you afraid of dying? I managed to swallow a spoonful of soup with difficulty. Your Highness treats me very well. She turned her face away with stubborn pride. Such lies. Yet for half a month straight, she never missed a single day of bringing me soup, and the taste gradually improved from initially bland to truly delicious. Her treatment of me evolved from previous disdain and contempt to slowly acknowledging me and being willing to share her thoughts. After my arm healed, I returned to accompanying Ning Zhao to lessons. She no longer brought other servants with her, and she stopped making me carry everything alone instead. She would even help carry things for me. The Crown Prince maintained daily contact with me, asking about Ning Zhao's activities and well-being. After discussing Ning Zhao, he would also inquire about my own situation, showing concern for my welfare. He occasionally brought me news of my brother, along with small gifts from outside the palace. While others didn't know that all those essays and policy papers that earned the Grand Tutor's praise, under Ning Zhao's name, were actually written by me, the prince understood the truth. He often discussed classical literature and historical texts with me. Every night, I studied by lamplight, not daring to slack off for even a moment, afraid that the opportunities and prospects I had worked so hard to gain might disappear through my negligence. Mother was already gone, father had become father to someone else's children, and my little brother was still young. I was his only family in this world. I had to hold every. Spring departed. Autumn arrived, and 6 years passed. I reached the age of maturity, 15 years old. Ning Zhao found me a gorgeous flowing dress with shimmering colors as a coming-of-age gift. The Crown Prince handed me a gift box. Open it and see. Inside was a simple wooden hairpin. Ning Zhao snorted dismissively. Elder brother, you are the Crown Prince of our nation. How can you give such an unimpressive gift? But I was genuinely delighted. I love it very much. Of course I did. It was made by Crown Prince Ningyu's own hands, which gave it incomparable significance. That evening, I presented him with an embroidered sachet I had made myself, confessing my feelings. He paused, his earlobes turning red before gently declining. I only think of you as a younger sister. I lowered my eyes and nodded. I see. Very well then. I turned and walked away. The next day when we met, he avoided me. I remained composed, showing no embarrassment, and continued treating him exactly as before. He maintained a stiff expression, which made Ning Zhao unhappy. Elder brother, what is wrong with you? Why are you wearing such a stern face? Do you think you are Grand Tutor Li? I laughed and chimed in. Yes, elder brother, is something troubling you? He seemed startled and frowned slightly. Ning Zhao looked up at him. Why are you calling him elder brother now? I replied innocently. He said he thinks of me as a sister. Ning Zhao laughed heartily. That works. If you become his sister, I approve. I smiled with apparent joy, though only Crown Prince Ningyu pressed his lips together tightly, his gaze falling on me with dark, unreadable intensity. I stopped embroidering personal items, like clothing, for Ningyu. He suffered from throat ailments, and was quite particular about food. Each year I would gather chrysanthemums, carefully prepare them, and thoughtfully select the best ones to send to him. I apprenticed myself to the chief medical officer to learn therapeutic cooking methods, spending each day finding ways to prepare delicious, healthful food for him. Over 6 years, I had woven myself into every aspect of his life, from major policy papers to the smallest needlework, from daily living to academic studies. I made myself indispensable in every possible way. And now, I cut it all off completely. For half a month, I treated him with distant politeness in public and cold detachment in private. Finally, he could bear it no longer and tried to speak with me in his usual warm, familiar manner. I smiled and interrupted him. Elder brother, it is quite late today. Perhaps another time. I've already told my family that your highness has accepted me as a sister. Please don't be angry with me. I am alone in the world, and wanted to borrow your reputation for some small advantage. Tomorrow, I return home to prepare for marriage. His smile froze on his face. His jaw tightened, his fingers unconsciously fidgeting before clenching into fists, veins standing out in stark relief. Whom are you marrying? He asked, each word seeming to require tremendous effort, falling with unusual weight. I smiled radiantly. I don't know yet. The imperial examinations are about to announce results, aren't they? My uncle plans to let me choose from among the top candidates. I am quite taken with that seaside Season from Xuancheng. Uncle says that though Season comes from a humble background, his writing shows both literary excellence and moral character. I was initially reluctant, until I read his essays. The more I spoke, the happier I became, gesticulating expressively with a face-splitting grin. Ningyu's eyes darkened, the warmth around him vanishing entirely, replaced by an icy coldness, his fingers trembling slightly. I continued enthusiastically. Elder brother, you have no idea how beautiful Season's calligraphy is, and his writing is exceptional. Reading his essays felt like encountering a kindred spirit in a foreign land. I only regret not being able to meet him sooner. Ningyu's smile turned cold as winter frost. Scholars are often faithless. Having lived long in the palace, Lingyi has met few men. Don't be deceived by mere words on paper. I nodded obediently. You are right. I suppose I haven't met enough men seeing you every day, which made me think I had feelings for you. I assumed a deeply thoughtful, conflicted expression, my cheeks reddening with apparent embarrassment as I whispered, Aunt had someone send me Season's portrait. He is so handsome, refined features, scholarly bearing. I am quite smitten, and can hardly wait to meet him. Ningyu's smile disappeared entirely, his expression growing dark and forbidding. I glanced at the deepening twilight and exclaimed softly, Thank you for all your kindness to my brother and me over these years. Thanks to your favor, my brother is now studying at the Imperial Academy. I am deeply grateful. I turned and waved cheerfully at him. Elder brother, he cut me off harshly. Don't call me that, I responded, meekly, with slight timidity. Your Highness. Staring into my— Only then did he seem to wake from a dream, releasing my hand. I turned to meet Ningzhao's cold gaze. At last, she had arrived. My carefully placed jewelry had not been wasted. After returning to the palace, Ningzhao sat in the place of honor and commanded me to kneel. After I complied, she hurled her cup at me, the vessel grazing my forehead before shattering. My hair fell loose around my shoulders. Despite the pain in her eyes, she demanded with reddened eyes, You approached me just to become crown princess, didn't you? I kept my gaze lowered. I am leaving tomorrow. My family has arranged another match for me. I wiped the blood from my forehead. Ningzhao, I owe you nothing. Whether my intentions were real or false, I devoted my heart to caring for you. Tears streaming down her face, she shouted, Get out. I slowly stood and retrieved my packed belongings. I gave the protective amulet I had embroidered for Ning Zhao to a palace maid who was kind to me. Before she could speak, I was already walking out with tears in my eyes and silent determination. In the room's drawer lay the birthday gift I had prepared for Ning Zhao. The late empress had once embroidered a cloak for her, but after the empress's death, the seventh princess had deliberately destroyed it. Countless nights, I had seen Ning Zhao clutching that cloak while sobbing and calling for her mother. Though the palace housed hundreds of skilled embroiderers, none dared attempt repairs, not from lack of skill, but from knowledge of her temperament. None wanted to risk a beating or expulsion from the palace if their work proved unsatisfactory. I had been secretly restoring this cloak for half the time needed, planning it as her birthday gift. Ning Zhao appeared harsh, but she was actually soft-hearted beneath her fierce exterior. She would show me mercy. After years of careful planning, I had played the role she needed, unconditionally fulfilling her emotional needs. How could a sheltered young princess escape the gentle trap a seasoned hunter had prepared for her? I walked along the most crowded path in the palace, my forehead bloody, tears in my eyes, hair disheveled, clutching my bundle, a picture of complete wretchedness. Gossip followed in my wake. When Ningyu came riding after me, calling my name urgently, I had already passed through the palace gates. I turned back, gave him a pitiful smile, and climbed into my modest carriage. Everyone now knew I had offended Princess Ning Zhao, His Majesty's most beloved daughter, and been expelled from the palace. At dinner, my uncle and aunt spoke with apparent regret. "You've suffered these past years. Now you needn't worry. Your uncle and I will treat you and your brother well from now on." Uncle set down his chopsticks. "Season is a man of noble character. This marriage won't be a poor match. Your mother's dowry will serve as your trousseau, and your aunt and I will prepare additional gifts. When your brother marries, we'll arrange everything for him as well. You need not worry." I set down my own chopsticks and smiled mysteriously. "Uncle, would you be willing to place a wager on me? Bet on a complete reversal of fortune soaring straight into the clouds." I dressed in rough cloth, shouldered my bundle, and left the Marquis of Pingyuan's residence. Walking through the bustling streets, I knocked on the gates of the attendant's mansion. The steward saw me, rubbed his eyes as if unable to believe what he saw, then confirmed it was indeed me before scrambling away and shouting, "Old Madam, Master, the eldest daughter has returned." Father's pleased expression crumpled, his cheeks quivering. "What is she doing back here?" I smiled and surveyed Pearl standing beside him. "Naturally, I've come to fulfill my filial duties to father." During my years in the palace, he had arranged good backgrounds for Pearl and Andrew, registering them under the second branch of the family. He had originally wanted to record them as legitimate children, but I had sent him a dagger from the palace as a clear message. When I heard the news again, Pearl and Andrew had been designated as illegitimate offspring. Though illegitimate, this didn't prevent father from investing heavily in their futures. He engaged renowned tutors for Andrew and hired female instructors for Pearl, teaching her music, chess, calligraphy, painting, and proper noble conduct. In just a few years, Pearl had gained considerable reputation for her talents. After moving Pearl and Andrew to the second household, father hired several martial arts masters to guard them, fearing I might harm his precious darlings. Several strong elderly nursemaids stood guard outside my door, preventing me from leaving. After father investigated the situation outside, he returned with a changed expression. He kicked open my door, grabbed me, and threw me into the woodshed. "Since you've come back, don't think about leaving this house again. Now you've offended the princess, and the Marquise's household has expelled you. Who else will protect you? Wei Ling Yi, you owe Chulian a debt, and will settle it slowly." Lord Yang was the Salt Transportation Commissioner, wealthy, and father desperately needed money for Pearl's dowry and Andrew's future prospects. Among the women guarding me was someone bought by my aunt, who secretly brought me clean food each night at midnight. For Princess Ning Zhao's birthday celebration, she extraordinarily sent an invitation to the attendant's residence. Father was uncertain, his gaze sweeping over me darkly. What does the princess mean by this? I lay among the woodpile. I don't know. He grabbed me, teeth clenched. Don't play tricks with me. His eyes shifted as he considered bringing me along with Pearl to gain face before Ning Zhao. But he feared I might harm his precious daughter. In the end, he sent only me. I was placed at the lowest seat. Throughout the banquet, mocking glances and cruel words came at me from all directions. I kept my eyes lowered and remained silent, accepting it all with apparent grace. The noble young lady seated in the place of honor gradually tightened her grip on her cup. After the banquet ended, as I rose to leave, Ning Zhao's maid intercepted me. Ning Zhao glared at me coldly. How dare you? You privately took my late mother's cloak. Wei Ling Yai, what crime do you deserve for this? I lowered my eyes and knelt, bowing my head. Your Highness, please calm your anger. This subject accepts whatever punishment you decree. She seemed at a loss, biting her lip, pacing back and forth twice with evident agitation. I sentence you to finish repairing this cloak. I kowtowed in acknowledgement. Embroidery requires gentle, delicate fingers. This subject cannot accomplish such work. She angrily grabbed my hands. What can't you accomplish? Her words stopped abruptly. Her expression froze as she stared at my hands, covered with wounds and torn flesh, rendered speechless for a moment. Who did this to you? No one, Your Highness. I cannot repair the cloak. Please find someone more capable. The palace gates will be locked soon. I should take my leave. I pulled my hands from her grasp and limped away with lowered eyes. Wei Ling Yai, she pursued me, her voice trembling. What happened to your leg? It is nothing serious. I nearly fled, with her in relentless pursuit. Crown Prince Ningyu was bringing gifts to visit Ning Zhao when he passed my family's carriage and overheard the guards and driver mocking me. She still thinks she is the eldest daughter. Her mother's dead, and now the Marquise's house won't protect her because she offended the princess. How much longer do you think the master will let her live? Bah, the master just has her washing clothes, chopping wood, and scrubbing chamber pots now. Feeding her spoiled food, he won't let her die. How so? Don't you know? The master plans to marry her off as a concubine to the Yang family. Master Yang is the salt transportation commissioner. The bride price amounts to half a ship's worth of treasure. The master wants to use that wealth to pave the way for the second daughter and third son. Ah, but Lord Yang is 5 years older than our own master. How can the illegitimate children from an outside woman live better than the legitimate eldest daughter? Crown Prince Ningyu's gift box crashed to the ground, and Ning Zhao stopped in her tracks, frantically positioning herself in front of me. Is what they said true? Is it because of me? Ling Yi? I avoided her attempt to grab my hand, kneeling and kowtowing as I begged her forgiveness. Your Highness, I was foolishly presumptuous, harboring inappropriate feelings for your brother. I lacked self-awareness. I already know my error. Please have mercy on me, Your Highness. Soon father will marry me off as Lord Yang's concubine, and I'll leave the capital with him for his posting in Yangzhou. I won't trouble your sight again. Ning Zhao cried out. How can you marry Yang Juntong? His household concubines die under mysterious circumstances every year. How could you? I smiled and interrupted her. Isn't this what your Highness wanted? Ning Zhao raged. You think I sent him to you? Wei Ling Yi, I considered you my dearest friend, yet you think so little of me. I laughed mockingly near despair. How could someone of my humble status be friends with a princess? Your Highness perhaps didn't directly send Yang Juntong to seek my hand. But everyone knows you despise and have abandoned me. You are a princess, His Majesty's most beloved daughter. Naturally, many people want to curry your favor by stepping on me. Ning Zhao, have I not treated you well all these years? What wrong have I committed? Simply because I had feelings for your brother, I deserve such torment. Do you know I could have married the top scholar season? But now, it is all ruined. I have nothing left. You and your brother still feel this isn't enough revenge, then kill me. Her lips trembled, tears flowing as her proud bearing crumbled. She seemed to transform back into that frightened child who had hidden in my arms during thunderstorms, sobbing until she could barely breathe as she cried for her mother. Ling Yi, that is not true. I didn't know, I knew nothing. She tried to take my hands while crying, but I turned away. It doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters now. I walked toward the carriage, limping with each step, never once looking at the pale-faced crown prince Ningyu through gaps in the carriage curtains. I saw Ning Zhao run crying to Ningyu, sobbing helplessly as she asked him, "Elder brother, what should I do? What can I do?" Ningyu closed his eyes. When he opened them again, they had reddened, no longer showing the earlier shock and confusion, only a cold, deadly calm. He spoke quietly. What to do? Simple. Those who owe debts must pay. Those who deserve death must perish. When father heard I had made Ning Zhao cry, he slapped me the moment I stepped from the carriage and ordered me to kneel. He pointed at my nose and launched into furious curses. "How dare you offend the princess? I can't keep you, you'll go with Lord Yang." Yang Juntong, with his protruding belly, smiled as he reached to touch my face. "Brother Wei, don't damage the goods. Look at this pretty little face." Before his hand could reach me, an arrow flew from nowhere, piercing straight through his palm. He collapsed, wailing. Who did this?" Father quickly hid behind him in terror. I watched their panicked state with inner satisfaction. A single portrait sent to the Yang household had been enough to inflame Yang Juntong's desires. He had repeatedly opposed my uncle in court proceedings. His death would be no loss. Crown Prince Ningyu arrived with the imperial guard to announce an imperial edict. Yang Juntong was stripped of rank and arrested for corruption and accepting bribes. Father immediately distanced himself 3 feet away, shouting, "I am not his accomplice, not his accomplice." No one paid him any attention. Ningyu bent down and extended his hand to me. "Yai, I've come." I closed my eyes. "Why has your highness come?" He firmly grasped my wrist and pulled me up. "To marry you." "Will you have me?" "Your highness jests." He brought me to the Eastern Palace, opened the treasury, and showed me a list of betrothal gifts. "The day you left the palace, I sailed to my maternal grandfather's home and brought back the betrothal gifts my mother prepared for her future daughter-in-law. I also brought my retired grandfather to attend our wedding ceremony and meet his future granddaughter-in-law." I wept silently, choking out, "I was too foolish to understand my own heart." He curved his fingers to gently wipe my tears, his voice soft and coaxing. "I don't expect you to forgive me immediately. Let me make amends slowly. All right. Please don't ignore me, and don't call me elder brother anymore. Ling Yai, I can't bear it. I am nearly mad with grief." I reached up and embraced his neck, my eyes perfectly clear with calculation. "Your Highness, I've been miserable too. For many days now, you must compensate me well." My marriage to the crown prince was settled. Father raged and fumed, spending his days pointing fingers and making cutting remarks throughout the house. I cracked sunflower seeds and regarded him coolly. "Father, do you know why you are unharmed? Because if anything happened to you, I would become a criminal's daughter." I tossed the empty shells into his hands. "But you should be careful, you might die under mysterious circumstances one day." His body shook, his teeth clenched tight. He stayed quiet for several days before orchestrating something truly dramatic. The night before my wedding to the crown prince, he returned home with the beautiful Pearl at his side. With a dark expression, he announced, "Your appearance is plain, while your sister is a rare beauty, far lovelier than you. Having her accompany you to the prince's residence will surely help you maintain his favor. This is what you owe your sister. Don't forget how her mother died. If you refuse, I'll expose everything. We'll all be ruined together. Your reputation destroyed. You can forget about marrying into the Eastern Palace." Now that positions were reversed, he had become the desperate one threatening me. I looked at Pearl with something approaching amusement. "Do you want to marry him?" Her gaze was cold as ice as she spoke deliberately. "Your sister will naturally help you maintain favor and ensure your position in the Eastern Palace never wavers." I nodded. "Very well. Then tomorrow you may accompany me as a secondary consort." If she wanted to court death, I could only oblige her. Early the next morning, Pearl failed to appear for a long time. Only when Crown Prince Ningyu arrived at my chambers to escort me did she finally emerge, dressed entirely in white without any cosmetics. She moved with ethereal grace, each step like a lotus blooming, resembling a divine maiden descended from the 9 heavens. She stood beside me gently, supporting my arm as she bowed to Ningyu's bright red wedding robes served as the perfect backdrop. As the saying goes, a woman looks most beautiful in mourning white. Every gaze in attendance fell upon her breathtakingly beautiful face, every gaze except Crown Prince Ningyu's. His expression couldn't have been uglier, and he looked at Pearl as if she were already dead. Pearl didn't miss the flash of amazement in everyone's eyes. She curved her lips proudly and brazenly made eye contact with Ningyu, attempting to flirt with meaningful glances. I sighed inwardly. How foolish. Even if she wanted to steal my thunder, she shouldn't have chosen my wedding day to the crown prince. This ceremony represented not only my dignity but the royal family's face. Princess Ningzhao lost her temper completely and delivered a resounding slap. Whose funeral are you attending? The crown prince and crown princess are celebrating their wedding, and you appear in mourning white. Are you seeking death? Guards drag her away and beat her to death. Pearl showed no fear, only gazing at the crown prince with tearful, pleading eyes. The crown prince frowned slightly, and Pearl's eyes filled with delight until the next moment when he spoke. Death by beating would be inauspicious. Grant her death by hanging. Only then did Pearl panic. Ningzhao cursed. Are you all corpses? Drag her away immediately. My joyous occasion, Pearl's funeral rites. Father vomited blood and threatened to expose our past, willing to destroy us both. But he couldn't abandon Andrew. He always had too many concerns, which ensured his eventual downfall at my hands. I didn't act directly. During a meeting with Ningzhao, I simply shed a few tears while recounting childhood abuse and tragic suffering. One morning, Father suffered a stroke, his legs paralyzed, his speech impaired. When I visited him, he made many incoherent sounds but couldn't form proper words. Andrew, whom he had cherished for years, now stood behind me with nervous, respectful deference, not daring to look at his father. I smiled. Why won't you look at your father? If not for the medicine you fed him bowl after bowl, how would he have ended up this way? This is all thanks to your devoted care. Father's eyes bulged with uncontrollable terror, his entire body trembling with despair. I crouched down and stared directly into his face, memorizing this moment of his tragic collapse. Our faces overlapped with memory, that 1,000 gold lacquered bed where mother had lain, her frail body beneath blood-stained sheets, her belly swollen high under crimson silk covers, her tears mixed with perspiration, soaking endlessly into her hair and the soft pillows beneath her head. She had cried out in pain until she saw me. She called my name over and over, Ling Yi, mother's little Ling Yi. She grasped my hand, murmuring to herself, I must live, I cannot die. My Ling Yi is so small. If I die, what will become of you? Her healthy complexion drained to deathly pallor in mere minutes. Her dry, cracked lips trembled as she heard the newborn's piercing cries nearby. She clutched my hand desperately, her fingernails breaking my skin without her notice. She was panic-stricken, unwilling to accept fate, struggling desperately against death. Tears fell on my arm like hammer blows. Her body rigid, she touched my face with tragic sorrow. My child without mother, how will you survive? What will become of your little brother? I numbly gripped her hand, pressing my burning cheek against her cold palm, desperate to warm her with my fever. Mother, I'll live well, and I'll take care of little brother too. Mother, please live. I'll be obedient from now on. I'll practice piano properly, and never complain about my fingers hurting. Mother, my fingers don't hurt anymore, but my heart hurts so much. I am so sad, so afraid. Heaven wouldn't show mercy and let mother live simply because I was afraid. Father wouldn't be able to speak or move freely, simply because of his rage. Father, you owed mother a debt. If heaven won't collect, I will. I seek justice for mother. I smiled at him through my tears. He also smiled back through his tears, his expression a grotesque mockery. You When beauty fades, I'll watch the crown prince abandon you. I laughed with contempt, saying nothing. Love was merely a stepping stone for me. Perhaps someday I would die by my own schemes and machinations, but I would never be defeated by Crown Prince Ningyu's affection. In the 3 months following my marriage to Crown Prince Ningyu, I used my position as Crown Princess not only to distribute food to the poor daily, but also worked alongside officials to build housing for disaster victims, personally planting crops in the fields, and arranging for displaced women to learn skills in embroidery workshops or kitchens so they could support themselves. When I was 3 months pregnant, the 8th prince's horse went mad in the street. I saved an elderly man from being trampled but suffered a miscarriage in the process. The old man was the retired Grand Tutor, His Majesty's former teacher. The 8th prince was punished and sent to his fief. Crown Prince Ningyu gained not only His Majesty's praise and guilt, but also the Grand Tutor's political support. During my recovery, all the Grand Tutor's former students brought gifts to visit me at the Eastern Palace. Crown Prince Ningyu, wise as always, cultivated the image of a refined, scholarly heir. Soon he won considerable popular support and official favor. The 8th prince was the current empress's legitimate son and Crown Prince Ningyu's most feared rival. Crown Prince Ningyu and Princess Ningzhao had suffered many setbacks at the 8th prince's hands, but now the tables had turned. Crown Prince Ningyu personally tended my wounds, his eyes reddening with pain as he looked at my injuries. "Ling Yi, you've suffered so much. How could you do such a thing?" I lay in his arms, gently kissing him. "Your Highness is my husband. Naturally, I must plan for your future, even if it costs me my life." He pressed his lips together, his expression melancholy as he gripped my hand tightly. "Don't speak such nonsense. You are my only wife. You've shared my hardships, and you should share my good fortune as well." His eyes flickered before growing determined. "Ling Yi, I will make you the most honored woman in this world." My brother, who was studying at the Imperial Academy, arrived at the Eastern Palace dusty from travel. Reeking of mud and fish, carrying several plump bass and carp, tied with grass rope. His face pale, he spoke hoarsely to my nursemaid. "Nanny, please stew these to nourish my sister." Seeing how he had grown into a young man filled me with tearful joy. After Crown Prince Ningyu left, only my brother and I remained in the room. He looked at me silently for a long time before speaking in a trembling voice. "Sister, I'll study hard. I'll achieve high rank, earn a title, become a minister. I'll be your support and protection. I will. But can you please take care of yourself, love yourself, and stop hurting yourself? If my advancement requires you to gamble with your body and life, I'd rather die now and join Mother. Just pretend I am already dead." Years of masks and manipulation crumbled when facing him. During my palace years, I could only see him once annually. Each meeting, he would look at me silently before whispering, "Sister is thinner. Sister must eat well." His letters filled an entire chest. Every single one ended the same way. "Sister must eat well." I touched his face through my tears. "Don't cry anymore. Sister understands." He looked at me stubbornly. "I don't want advancement that costs your life. I want sister healthy and long-lived. Sister, you are all I have." I stroked his head and smiled happily. "Never again. It will never happen again." These words were naturally a lie. I had chosen the path of supreme power and ambition. There was no turning back, nor did I want to. I lived to 89 years old. My life was magnificent and turbulent. My brother proved true to his word. He studied desperately, advancing from top scholar to titled nobility to high minister to a position second only to the emperor himself. The path was difficult. His youthful innocence gave way to increasing ruthlessness. He would say, "Sister, I am supporting you." At the pinnacle of power, from crown princess to empress dowager, only Crown Prince Ningyu remained constant. His devotion to me never wavered across 10 years. My treatment of him remained calculated throughout. He died before me. I had thought I didn't love him. But when this person was truly about to leave my life, I became frantic with panic. He stroked my face, looking at me with his usual tenderness. He placed the imperial seal, the power I had craved for half my lifetime, into my palm. In his final edict, he granted me the right to rule as empress in my own name. He touched my falling hair, just as he had on our wedding night when he nervously helped remove my hairpins with trembling hands. Yi, I've always loved your ambitious, calculating nature most of all. I knew you were only pretending to be meek. From the first time I read your essays and policy papers, I recognized your aspirations. Go ahead, do what you want to do. You needn't hide from me anymore. I've always known. My tears fell like rain. He wiped them away, smiling like a child. Ling Yi, I loved you so much, but you were so troublesome, always forcing me to read endless memorials. I never even had time to share a proper meal with you. Do you know how long it has been since you sat down to eat with me properly? I wept uncontrollably. He continued talking to himself. You certainly don't know. 33 days. He smiled bitterly and closed his eyes. I cried out in anguish, and the grief made me vomit blood. I had always grown through loss. Mother's death taught me hatred. Crown Prince Ningyu's death taught me love. I died while reviewing memorials late one night. I had devoted my heart's blood to half a lifetime of service. Together with him, I had spent this entire life governing the realm. Our children gathered around me, they had all turned out well, not twisted and cold like I had been in my youth. They resembled Crown Prince Ningyu, fundamentally kind at heart. He had educated them excellently. My spirit drifted above, watching our son continue down the path. Crown Prince Ningyu and I had laid, supported by my brother. He asked my brother, what was mother like in her youth? My brother paused, seeming to reminisce, then smiled. The nursemaid said your mother loved acting spoiled with your grandmother when she was young. She would climb trees to steal bird eggs and accidentally hit the censor's little daughter, making the girl cry. Your grandmother chased her around the courtyard with a fire poker while she called for Mama. He stopped, his expression growing melancholy. Unfortunately, I never again saw my sister so vibrant and alive.